Welcome to Yemen Today TV. This is the English news with me, Shazab Dilbey. A local Yemeni Center for Strategic Studies published a recent analysis on the Yemeni crisis. According to the analysis, achieving peace in Yemen is still unachievable despite relative calm and reduction of violence. This report has more details.
A Yemeni Studies Center expects that the peace process in Yemen to be complex and far away, suggesting that the Yemeni situation will continue to be subject to a partial, temporary complication that doesn't amount to political initiatives or a comprehensive solution, because the dynamics of local, regional, and international interactions do not help produce a clear roadmap. In addition to the impossibility of the Houthis to make concessions, the Yemen and Gulf Studies Center stated that it's possible to imagine that the partial solution would arrange new dimensions in the centers of the balance of power, which might constitute escalatory repercussions in other crises, and in light of the multiplicity of political, security, and humanitarian dilemmas. Efforts to reach peace negotiations in Yemen are finally being resumed, as an Omani delegation arrived in the capital Sana'a to meet with leaders of the Houthi coup to discuss mediation developments conducted by the Sultanate of Oman and to resume the negotiations process. This coincides with a tour by the U.S. envoy to Yemen, Tim Linder-King, to a number of Gulf capitals to strengthen existing efforts, ensure new arrangements, and launch a comprehensive peace process, according to what was announced by the U.S. State Department. A researcher said that the picture of the future of resolving the Yemeni crisis happens to be impossible, especially since the indicators of the protracted conflict on the local stage indicate that the parties have not yet reached the stage of military cessation, and he doesn't believe that this stage is about to end. He warned also of what he described as the mentality of deals, which he said is reflected in the approach of the Houthi movement that adopts the option of a truce on the grounds, while the Houthis see this deal as equivalent to stopping the war, which is impossible for them. In this regard, he referred to the Houthis' rejection of Riyadh's mediation and their insistence on dealing with it as a party to the crisis, which thwarted the first round of negotiations by the Houthis, evading dealing with this mediation and accusing international powers, led by the United States of America, of obstructing the settlement.
The United Nations called on donor countries to finance the humanitarian response plan in Yemen. The humanitarian coordinator for Yemen, David Gressly, affirmed that the United Nations is committed to the Yemeni people, their lives, dignity, protection, and flexibility. Gressly stressed the need to ensure the protection of humanitarian workers and the unrestricted movement of aid workers, especially female relief workers. The Euro-Mediterranean Monitor confirmed the Houthi siege on Taiz puts danger on the lives of 3 million Yemenis. The monitor said about 3 million Yemenis suffer from shortage of basic human needs, such as food, water, and health. According to the monitor, more than 300 citizens died in traffic accidents as a result of roads, as the Houthis cut off the roads leading to and from the city. Massam Project for Clearing Mines stated that the field teams removed more than 800 mines, unexploded ordnance, and explosive devices in the third week of this month. This brings the total number of mines cleared since the beginning of this month to 3,000 mines. This report has more details.
Massam Project to clear landmines in Yemen said it has dismantled about 900 landmines in the third week of August. The landmines that were planted indiscriminately by the Houthis across Yemen pose a significant threat to the lives of innocent people, including children, women, and the elderly. A total of 411,568 mines have been cleared since the start of the project in 2018. The project trains local demining engineers and provides them with modern equipment. It also offers support to Yemenis injured by the devices. As to the landmine victims, children are facing the highest risk in encountering landmines and unexploded ordnances. Child casualties caused by explosive devices have risen from an average of 1 every 5 days in 2018 to 1 every 2 days in 2022. Children in Yemen are at risk of encountering landmines and explosive remnants of war while engaging in everyday activities such as playing, collecting firewood and water, and tending to livestock, and they may lack the experience to identify or avoid them. In the coming month, there is a risk of increased landmine migration due to expected heavy flooding. During the previous year, seasonal flooding led to mines being moved long distances by flash floods, further endangering civilians, livestock, and commercial traffic.
The teachers' strike continues in Houthi-controlled areas and enters the 5th week. The Teachers Club in Sana'a renewed its pledge to continue the comprehensive strike until teachers' demands are met and salaries are paid. The Houthis have imposed new measures on the staff of Sana'a University. According to the new regulations, academics are not allowed to teach in private universities. This report has more details.
The Houthis seek to force faculty members in all public universities under their control to commit not to engage in additional work or teach in private universities and institutes. Academics describe this as to be promoting the policy of starvation, and they responded to it by demanding their salaries that have been suspended for 7 years. The Houthi rebels distributed forms that include a pledge not to work overtime at private universities or institutes. These forms were distributed to teachers and academics in public universities under their control, while academic sources reveal that the Houthis secretly excluded teachers who offer lessons in universities affiliated with the Houthi personalities or affiliates. Pioneers of social media platforms transmitted pictures of these forms on different sites. The sources accused the Houthi rebels of practicing a policy of starvation after stopping the payment of salaries of public employees, including faculty members and academics, in public universities and their areas of control 7 years ago. The pledge stipulates that if any academics proven to be practicing teaching at a private university, the pro-coup university leadership has the right to take the appropriate punishment against him, without the form clarifying the type of punishment. However, academic sources expected the academic being accused of this charge to be deprived of all rights. Academics at the University of Sana'a declared the rejection of that form and the pledge it contained, revealing the continuation of the Houthi efforts to clamp down on the remaining faculty members in public universities and push them to resign or abandon academic work, with the aim of replacing them with loyalists to the coup. The faculty members demanded the Houthis to stop these practices, pay them their salaries, improve the quality of university education away from ethnic and sectarian discrimination, and provide an appropriate environment that motivates Yemeni students to enroll in universities to continue their university education.
Human Rights Watch accused Saudi border guards of killing hundreds of Ethiopian migrants and asylum seekers. According to the organization, the incident took place in a 15-month period between March 2022 and June 2023, when the migrants were trying to cross into Saudi Arabia from Yemen. In response to this accusation, Saudi Arabia rejected those accusations, calling on Human Rights Watch to maintain accuracy. Coming next in the news. Climate change and Houthi neglect threaten Ramdan Historical Palace in Sana'a. Welcome back. The city of Zanzibar in Abiyan witnessed angry protests over the deterioration of basic services. The protesters set fire to the damaged tires in the middle of the roads, denouncing the absence of the government's role in seeking solutions for the economic deterioration. Citizens in Adan complained about the continuous manipulation of the electric current. They said the interrupted electric services, which cause damage to electronic and electric devices and causes heavy financial losses to citizens. Ib is witnessing a wide outbreak of cholera coinciding with the rainy season in Yemen. In addition, medical sources said the hospitals in the city have witnessed a turnout of patients with diarrhea and cholera for several weeks amid inaction from the Houthi militia. The people in Abiyan are calling to confront the repeated Houthi violations against them. This report has more details.
Under the slogan of not forgetting the crimes of the Houthi militia, the people and tribes of Al Bayda Governorate have established an evening of speeches in Ma'rib. They brought together the people of Al Bayda to recall the crimes of the Houthi militia against their sons. They are demanding justice in the trial of the Houthi militia for its crimes against the people of Al Bayda, starting with the crime of betrayal of a popular family, passing through assaulting women, including the murder of Jihad al-Azbahi, who fought the Houthi militia until she was martyred.
Today, we are gathering here under the slogan, "We will not forget you." The crimes and violations that the terrorist Houthi militia commits against Yemeni civilians can't go unpunished. We are demanding justice and trials. This rebel militia is killing our elders, women and children with no mercy.
The people of Al Bayda Governorate who attended this evening called for unity to stop the Houthi militia's attacks and violations against the people of Al Bayda. They are aiming to unify efforts to liberate the province and follow the path of September revolutionaries, who had a great role in ending the era of the Imamate and its darkness.
We want to send a message to the Yemeni people and all the people around the world. We shall never forget the violations and crimes that the Houthi militia committed against the people of Yemen. We shall keep suffering from our losses till we get their right back and get rid of this militia.
Several violations were committed by the Houthi militia against the people of Al Bayda Governorate. Human rights reports documented more than 400 cases of violations against the people of Al Bayda during the year 2022. They included cases of killing, arbitrary arrest, attacks on citizens' property, and destruction of homes and private facilities, in addition to the landmines that continuously claim the lives of innocent civilians, including women and children.
The ancient Ramdan Palace in Sana'a faced the danger of collapse after it was severely damaged due to heavy rains and total neglect of the rebel militia. This report has more details.
By the fall of dozens of stones from its wall, after it was severely damaged as a result of the torrential rains that are currently hitting the country, in addition to other weather factors, in light of the deliberate neglect and tampering of the Houthis and its use for military purposes and conversion prison facilities. Activists launched a distress call after parts of the wall of Ramadan Palace were destroyed, which was an indicator of the collapse of the palace, with its historical and moral value to Yemenis. in addition to the danger threatening the residents of the houses adjacent to the palace. The inaction and negligence of the Houthis and their looting of allocations of the bodies concerned with preserving antiquities, museums, and historical cities caused many archaeological sites and monuments to be subjected to tampering, looting, and systematic destruction, including the Ghamdan Palace, whose huge wall is currently subject to collapse, according to the admission of the coup leaders who run the Antiquities Authority in Sana'a. During the current month, these leaders visited the Ghamdan Palace and admitted the existence of severe damage to the palace, its walls, its components, its architectural facilities, and the two mosques that still exist in its courtyard. Residents in the vicinity of the palace expressed their great fear of the continued demolition of parts of the palace wall and the fall of its stones near their homes. This threatens the lives and safety of them and their children, especially in light of the continued rains, which are expected to increase during the coming weeks. For its part, informed sources said that the palace, which is an integrated city and contains large areas, is exposed to negligence, tampering, and deliberate vandalism, especially after the Houthi militia turned large parts of it into a training camp.
Here is a reminder of the main headlines. Local reports says despite relative calm and negotiations, peace in Yemen remains elusive. The Sam demining project dismantles 3,000 Houthi land mines in a week. In a new assault against higher education, Houthis prevent academics from working in private universities. This is the end of the news. Thank you for watching.